Hey, it's just Jean talking. I am Jean, a registered nurse and maternal child health and family planning nurse practitioner. And my job here is to present you topics regarding health, hygiene, and to present it in a way that's easily understood. So today we're talking about edema or swelling. Before we start, would you please subscribe, like, share, notifications, all that good stuff. I would appreciate it. Also, give me some ideas about topics you'd like to hear about. So, edema, a fancy word for swelling. Edema simply means an accumulation of fluid somewhere in the body. It can happen anywhere, but it's generally in the extremities, like the fingers, the hands, the feet, and legs. The tissue, when it has edema, is real tight and shiny, and it's usually not painful unless it gets to be very, very, very serious. So, what is the cause of edema? Well, there are many causes. I told you that the body is a fine-tuned machine. Everybody has its own job to do. And if one person is not doing his job, it affects other people. And that's how the body is set up. It tries to maintain itself in a steady state. So, there are different causes for edema, and that's why it has to be taken fairly seriously. And you need to see your physician so that they can determine the exact cause and what needs to be done about it. It's a good idea to keep a diary so that when you have issues with your body, you can jot down the date, you can jot down the time. Is it happening in the daytime? Is it happening at night? What exactly happened? How long did it last? And what was the consequence? You'd be surprised at how much improved your health care can be if you can present a good story to the person that's trying to diagnose you. What they have to do is get your history, do an exam, do lab tests, and that's how they determine exactly where this edema is coming from and what the cause is. So, some of the reasons that people have edema, it could relate to the heart. If the heart muscle is a little bit weakened, it's not able to pump the way it should. Remember I told you that there are 4 chambers of the heart. 2 of those chambers carry blood from the heart to all areas of the body. And that's the rich oxygenated blood that's bright red and pumping through the arteries. Okay, once it gets depleted of all this oxygen and stuff, then it has to get back up to the lungs and the heart to be replenished again so that it can circulate again. So, if the heart is not pumping well, then it has a problem getting those fluids all the way from those capillaries and the end stages of the circulatory process back up to the lungs and the heart so that it can be replenished. If the heart is not functioning well, it cannot properly get those fluids back up to where it belongs. So that could be one cause of edema. Sometimes it's the kidneys. I told you that all the blood has to go by the kidneys. And the kidneys determines what's good and what's not. So that the kidney determines what it's going to keep and what it's going to excrete. So it's in the process of excreting liquids, all sorts of things, sodium, electrolytes. It determines what's going to stay and what's going to go. So if the kidney is not functioning properly, then it can't properly do its job. So it could be over-excreting or under-excreting and getting the sodium amount off or the liquids off. So that could be a cause of edema, of fluids gathering up and not being able to get back to the heart area. Another thing could be the liver. The liver sometimes develops scar tissue, and that's known as cirrhosis. So if there's scar tissue in the liver, it can't completely do its job. And the liver manufactures and secretes a lot of hormones and substances that control a lot of functions in the body. So if the liver is not functioning right, you can also have another reason for edema, for those secretions pooling down in your legs and feet and not being able to get back to where they need to be. Sometimes the doctors put you on diuretics. That's medication that helps to diurese or get rid of fluids from your body. So if you're not taking those medications correctly, that could also be a problem that could help lead to pooling of fluid in your extremities. People who are pregnant, the weight of the uterus falls against some of the major veins, and that prevents the fluids from moving the way they should move through the body. Also, people who are pregnant have some hormones, etc., that tend to retain fluids. So you have a lot of problem with pregnant women and edema. Excuse me. So what can we do to help alleviate or not get edema? Well, if you've got issues with your kidney and liver, of course, you can't do anything right then to help that. But you can improve your lifestyle. It all goes back to lifestyle. You've got to get some activity going and get that body moving. If you're the type of person that is, first of all, you're probably going to have a little bit of overweight, and then you're plopped on the couch. Bring me my plate. Where's the salt? Bring me the remote. Look up on top of that refrigerator and get my eyeglasses. You don't move. You've got to get some activity going in your life. When you exercise, it helps to get that fluid moving. It helps the heart to remain strong. It helps the heart to be able to pump that fluid back up to where it belongs. If you're just sitting in the chair or on the couch, then your fluid is pooling down in your extremities. So your heart is having a really hard time reaching way down there into those capillaries and way down into your toes and getting that fluid and getting it back, way back up to the heart where it needs to go. So you got to get some exercise going. You have got to change your dietary habits. I'm amazed at the people that sit and just start like shaking salt. Haven't tasted the food yet. They just know they need salt. That retains fluids and helps you to maintain your edema status. So lifestyle changes have to be made. Your diet, your exercise, it has to change. Recently, I started a water aerobics class, and it's really great because it's not stressful on your joints, but the movement and the pressure of your arms and legs and that water pushing against it, it's excellent. It's helped to tone your legs and thighs and arms, and also that exercise works your heart and your lungs. You're getting a lot of oxygen moving around as you do that strenuous exercise. So almost anybody can do it. I see people in the class that are like 90, little old people, and they're doing it, and they're doing just fine. So you cannot stay immobile. You got to get moving. You got to eat right. Another thing, when the doctors examine you to determine how serious the edema is, they'll do a little test where they punch their finger into your foot that's swollen. They'll punch their finger into it. If that little hole or pit, if it comes right back, springs right back out, then your edema is not too bad. But if that hole or that little pit stays deep, then that gives them some indication of how serious the edema is. At 1, 2, 3, 4 degree of pitting. That's how they kind of determine how serious it is. So some of the things you can do aside from the exercise and the diet, you can wear support stockings. You can watch your salt intake. Don't have prolonged standing or prolonged sitting in the same position. And here's one thing I really want to leave you with. If you ever have edema plus chest pain plus difficulty breathing. Those three things combined is serious. You need to see your healthcare person right away. Edema, chest pain, difficulty in breathing. That's my 2 cents for today. Thank you. Subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Help sister out. Thanks.